case. Ambiguous case in the sense a case which is somewhat different and confused. That's it. See, usually the books call it as ambiguous case, and we are also just taking that heading here itself. Okay. See, for suppose if you have a triangle ABC, and for that triangle we are very familiar with the triangle. The triangle has 3 vertices, 3 sides, and 3 angles. Okay. See, you just leave about the vertices for some time. Then 3 sides and 3 angles. What are the 3 sides? Small a, small b, small c are the 3 sides, and 3 angles. Angle A, angle B, angle C are the 3 angles. These 3 sides and 3 angles together are known as 6 components of the triangle. Okay. These 6 components always describe the nature and property of the triangle, and these 6 components help us to construct the triangle. Okay. But we have different properties in earlier classes, like congruency properties. Okay, what the congruency property says? We have SSS congruency, SAS congruency, ASA congruency, RHS congruency. All you learned these in your earlier classes, maybe in 7th or 9th, but I am not discussing all those things. Those congruencies or those geometrical properties will tell one beautiful thing, that if you have any 3 components, then those 3 components are enough to find the other 3 components. Once again I am repeating, just have a look here. See, for a triangle, knowing a triangle completely is just nothing but knowing all its 6 components. And among those 6 components, if you know any 3 components, then easily you will find other 3 components. Okay, so which 3 you have to know and which other 3 we can find, that discussion is just leads to this discussion. Okay, you just have a look. The possibilities are, in one case the known 3 components may be 3 sides, and in another case the known 3 components may be 2 sides and 1 angle, where the angle is included between the sides, and in another case the known 3 components are 2 angles and 1 side, and in the other case the known 3 components are 2 sides and any other angle. Okay, here S represents a side and A represents an angle. Just have a look. SSS, SAS, AAS, SSA. See, first of all you just look about it. SSS, that means you know 3 sides of a triangle A, B, C. If you know 3 sides of a triangle, small a, small b, small c, then easily you will find angles using cosine rule. I think you all familiar with the cosine rule. Using cosine rule we will find angles. Okay, cos A, what is the formula for cos A? B square plus C square minus 2BC by, no, B square plus C square minus A square by 2BC. So you have A, B and C. If you replace these 3 values A, B and C in that, you will get cos A. From there you will get angle A. Okay, so see, using cosine rule, after having the 3 sides we easily find angles. That's one part. So this is very clear. And whereas in the other part, SAS here, A must be included between the sides. That's why we just marked that round. Okay, so 2 sides and their include angle. For suppose A, B, and in between this A and B, angle C is also included. So that means if you have A, angle C and B. Okay, if you have angle A, side B, and the included angle C between them. After having A, B and angle C, you just use again cosine rule. If you use cosine rule for angle C, easily you will get what the value of C square. Okay, from there, see, C square is equals to B square plus A square minus 2AB cos C. Just have a look. A, B and angle C, everything we know. From there we will get what? Side length C. See, side A is known, side B is known, side C is known. And after having these 3 sides, again it comes under the first case, we will find the remaining angles using cosine rule or something. Okay, so this case is also very clear. And whereas the other case, 2 angles and 1 side is given. So for suppose if you say the angles are angle A, angle B, and the side, you may take any side. For suppose some A. Okay, here that inclusion of the side is not mentioned. Okay, right, you know 2 angles and 1 side. Right, if you know 2 angles, then easily we will find the third angle angle C just like of 180 minus of A plus B. Since in a triangle, sum of the angles is 180. See, if you know two angles, easily you will find the third angle by that 180 minus of A plus B. Actually, as per the given logic, we know two angles and side. So, but easily we will find the third angle also. That means we have three angles along with the side. After having three angles along with the side, you just use sine rule now to find the remaining sides. From there, you just use sine rule. A by sine A is equals to B by sine B is equals to C by sine C. That sine rule helps you to find the remaining two sides B and C. Okay. So this case is also very clear. Okay. So the first case, if you know three sides, easily we will find three angles. In the second case, if you have two sides and one angle, you will find the remaining angles and side using cosine rule and sine rule. If you have two angles on one side, again by using the cosine rule and sine rule, we will find the remaining. First, you just think about it. The last case, side angle. You have two sides along with one angle. That angle may be anyone. Okay. You just think about it, and you just consider any two sides and one angle. If the angle is in between the sides, it must comes under the second case. It is already discussed. Okay. So that means what? The angle is not included between the sides. That case we are going to discuss now. For suppose you just take those two angles, those two sides. For suppose small a is one side, small b is another side. Angle, sides are AB, angle can't be included between these two. If that angle is angle C, then it comes to the second case. So you just take any other angle like angle A. So this is given. Okay. What I know? I know angle A, side length A, side length B. With this discussion, if you find sine B, what is the rule for sine B? You just think about it. Sine B. See, by sine rule, A by sine A is equals to B by sine B. And that sine B is simply nothing but B sine A by A. B sine A by A. Is it right? So, sine B we are calculating, and that is B sine A by A. See, if you calculate this B sine A by A, that value, we don't know about that value, right? If that value is greater than 1, sine B is greater than 1. Sine of an angle always is less than 1. But if you find it as greater than 1, then you can't get angle B. That represents there is no triangle. If it is equals to 1, then angle B is equals to 90 degrees. Then you have one triangle. Whereas if this value is greater than 1, what I am repeating, if this value is less than 1, okay, less than 1, then in that case, B has two possible values. Then there are two possible triangles. What I am telling you is sine B is equals to B sine A by A. You just think about the value of this B sine A by A now. This is actually the ambiguous case. If that value sine B, B sine by A greater than 1 is equals to 1 or less than 1. We have three different possibilities. Okay? Okay. If this is greater than 1, then it leads to no triangle case. If it is equals to 1, then it leads to one triangle possibility. If it is less than 1, it leads to two triangle possibilities. Why? Because for suppose if sine B value is a number which is less than 1, like 1 by 2. For our explanation, I am taking it as 1 by 2. If sine B is equals to 1 by 2, then if you think about the possible values of B, see, sine B is 1 by 2, right, which is less than 1. Sine 30 degrees is 1 by 2, as well as sine 150 degrees is also 1 by 2. If you find that B sine A by small a value as 1 by 2, if sine B is equals to 1 by 2, then the possible angles of B are two possibilities. One is 30 degrees and the other one is 150 degrees. So in this case, if this value is less than 1, then two triangles are possible. Side A, side B, angle A, angle B. With this measurements, if you take angle B is one angle acute or other angle obtuse, you will get two possible triangles. Whereas if this value is greater than 1, no triangle will form. If it is equals to 1, one triangle will form. So usually we consider this case as the ambiguous case. Okay. So this is only the ambiguous case, and all the remaining three cases are just cosine rule and sine rule. There is the problem. Right. See, if you have two sides and one angle which is not included, if you have two sides and one angle which is not included, then we have three different possibilities. Sometimes we may get one triangle, sometimes we don't get a triangle, sometimes there is two possible triangles. In this case, again we can analyze it by using cosine rule also. Okay, see, from here in this case, side A, side B, angle A are given. What about side C? Side C is not known, right? So if you write cosine rule for any one of these two known angles, A and A are known, right? And that's why, yeah. Okay. Some C square is equals to A square plus B square minus 2AB cos A. C square is equals to A square plus B square minus 2AB cos A, or otherwise you just take like this. If I write B square is equals to A square plus C square minus 2AC cos B. Is there anything wrong? B square is equals to A square plus C square minus 2AC cos B. But what I know angle A, right? And that's why I will write A square again. You just think about it. In this possibility, in this case I have to make a quadratic in terms of angle C. A square is equals to B square plus C square minus 2BC cos A. You just pay your attention on this particular statement. I can rewrite it as a quadratic in terms of C. Okay, I just make it like this. C square is equals to, okay, A square plus, or everything you just drag aside, C square minus 2BC cos A plus B square minus A square is equals to 0. This is a quadratic in terms of C. If you solve this quadratic, sometimes you will get one solution, or sometimes you will get two equal solutions, or sometimes you will get no solution. Again, the solutions, that means the possible values of C, will describe about the possible triangles. Okay, this is another possibility. This is what another way of discussing the last case, where two sides and the angle which is not included is known. Okay, at the end you just look about all these things. A triangle will have three sides and three angles. We call them as 6 components. Among these 6 components, if 3 components are known, easily we will find the other 3 components. Okay, it is very clear. If 3 sides are known, use cosine rule, find other angles. If 2 sides and include angle is known, use cosine rule, find the remaining. If 2 angles and 1 side is given, okay, easily find other angle, and you can use sine rule, you will find the remaining also. But the last case, which is somewhat complicated, where 2 sides and 1 angle is given, this is usually called as the ambiguous case. Okay, I will erase it and then I will concentrate on the last case, which we are saying it as ambiguous. Okay, just have a look. Okay, just look at the board. As we discussed before, if one case, if I have 2 sides and the angle which is not included between the sides, for suppose you just take for example A, B and angle A. In that case, using sine rule, we will find another angle B. Okay, sine B. If sine B is equals to this B sine A by A is the formula, we know it. Small a we have, small b already we have. Angle A is also known, that's why we easily calculate this B sine A by A value. And if you calculate this value, that is equals to sine B from the sine rule. So since sine of some angle B is equals to one number, that number may be less than 1, maybe is equals to 1, maybe greater than 1. Sine of an angle is always in between minus 1 and 1. Okay, so already we know that the ranges of trigonometric functions, sine theta is always less than 1 only. But if you get a number after calculating this by sine B sine A by A, then it means that there is no any possible such triangle. The given three measurements are somewhat wrong, okay? With the given three measurements, there is no chance to construct a triangle. There is no triangle there. That's the last case. And whereas if you calculate this b sin a by a value as 1, okay? See, calculating in the sense, by, see, a, b and angle a are given actually. From the question, taking small a, small b and angle a, we just calculate this b sin a by a. And if that calculation gives you a number which is equals to 1, it corresponds to one triangle. And if this number is less than 1, two triangles are possible. Because just like as I mentioned you, if sin b is equals to 1 by 2, angle b has two possibilities, one acute and other obtuse. If there are two triangles are possible, then angle b is, in one case it is acute, in the other case angle b is obtuse. Just like if this value is 1 by 2, angle b may be 30 or angle b may be 150. Like that, for all the numbers which are less than 1, we have two possibilities. Okay? If you take the acute angle, you will get acute angle triangle. If you take the obtuse angle, you will get the obtuse angle triangle. So, if this value is less than 1, two triangles are possible. If this angle is exactly equals to 1, then angle B is equals to 90 degrees. There is only one triangle, we say it as right angle triangle. If that value is greater than 1, no triangle is possible. This is the case actually. But this is the case when you discuss from sine rule direction. The same case just we are going to discuss in another direction from the cosine rule. Okay. Again I will mention it on the board and then I will discuss. Okay. First have a look. I will erase it. So just have a look. So the same case just we are discussing from the cosine rule. Okay. So we know two sides and the angle other than the included. Okay. AB and angle A. See one way of discussion is over with the sine rule and the other way is with the cosine rule. If you write cosine rule for small a square is equals to b square plus c square minus 2bc cos a. Just I am rewriting. Small a I know it. Small b I know it. But what you say about the length of the third side small c, I don't know. Okay. So that's why I am just making it like a quadratic in terms of small c. Okay. Just look there. C square minus 2bc cos a plus of some constant b square minus a square is equals to 0. Just you observe it. It is just looks like the what? A quadratic equation. If you treat that c as x, it becomes like this: x square minus 2b cos a into x plus b square minus a square is equals to 0. Just look there. X square and something into x plus some constant. Here in the place of x we have c. C square minus 2b cos a into some c plus b square minus a square is equals to 0. This is a quadratic in terms of c. See, we are very familiar with the quadratic equations. If you solve a quadratic equation, sometimes you will get two roots if the discriminant is greater than 0. Sometimes you will get only one root if the discriminant is equals to 0. And sometimes you will get no roots if the discriminant is less than 0. Depending on the discriminant and depending on the quadratic, we will just find the roots. Okay. So this quadratic equation may have two roots, may be one root and may be no root also. We don't know what happens. It depends on the values of small a, small b and angle a. Since we don't know the situation, actually how many roots are possible, that's why we are calling it as a somewhat ambiguous, confused case. Okay. See, if it gives you two roots, you just say the two roots as C1 and C2. Since there are two possibilities for the third side of the triangle, already two sides we have. After finding two possibilities of the third side, easily you will find two triangles. Okay. So in this case you will get two triangles. But whereas if you just find one root, then one triangle only forms. Whereas if you get no value of C, no root if it forms, then automatically no such triangle exists with the given measurements. Okay. Depending on the roots, we will decide the number of possibilities for the triangles. Depending on the value of b sin a by a in the previous case, that's another way of just analyzing the number of possibilities of the triangle. Here in this case, once again at a stretch if you look, this c square minus 2bc cos a plus b square minus a square is equals to 0 is just a quadratic. For suppose if it has two roots and you say those two roots as c1 and c2. I think you are all familiar handling a quadratic equation with its roots. See, it's a quadratic and the roots are c1 and c2. Then for this c1 and c2, if anybody asks you to say sum of the roots C1, C2, okay, two triangles are possible. Say the triangle third side length is C1 and another triangle third side length is C2. We don't know C1 and C2, but what you say about C1 plus C2? Sum of the roots. From the quadratic, sum of the roots is always x coefficient by x square coefficient minus b by a, usually we say. Here that coefficient of C is 2b cos a. So sum of the roots C1 plus C2, you will get it as 2b cos a. Sometimes it is helpful to solve a problem. Okay. And in the other case, what you say about the product of the roots C1 and C2? The product of the roots C1 and C2 is simply constant divided by the x square coefficient. Here x square coefficient is nothing here, so you say it as 1, and that's why your constant is b square minus a square. So for sure, the two possibilities C1 and C2 product is b square minus a square. Okay. This is another way of discussing the possibilities of the triangles from the cosine rule direction. Okay. Just have a look. So this is all about 56th point related to the ambiguous case. Okay. Just have a look. The next problem 57 based on this ambiguous case in a triangle ABC, as we discussed in the previous case. Okay, small a, small b and angle A are given. Okay, and C1, C2 are the possible values for the third side. Then we need to find all these three. Okay, and as we discussed, we know that C1, C2 are the roots of this equation. What is that equation as we discussed? C square minus what it is? 2b cos a into C plus of b square minus a square is equals to 0. It has two roots C1 and C2. That's what we discussed it, right? Okay. From there, as we know, this is very clear that implies C1 plus C2 is equals to 2b cos a. C1 into C2 is equals to b square minus a square. See, by considering that C1 plus C2 as 2b cos a, C1 into C2 as b square minus a square, we need to find out all these things. Okay. Now among those, the first one, what it is? A. C1 square plus C2 square minus 2 C1 C2 cos 2a. We need to simplify as much as possible. Just look there. This C1 square plus C2 square can be written as C1 plus C2 whole square minus 2C1 C2, is it right? C1 plus C2 whole square minus 2C1 C2 is simply C1 square plus C2 square. And I have another term. What it is? Minus 2C1 C2 cos 2a. So this is the given problem actually. But what you say about C1 plus C2 whole square? C1 plus C2 is 2b cos a. So 2b cos a whole square minus, see, from these two terms you just come out C1 C2 into 1 plus cos 2a. And this 2b cos a is simply nothing but 4b square cos square a minus 2c1 c2 into 1 plus cos 2a is nothing but 2 cos square a. Okay, right. And now this 2 into 2 is 4. Here also 4. Cos square a is a common thing. You just take that 4 cos square a as a common term. Here you have b square minus of c1 into c2 is the leftover, and that is again b square minus a square. So now b square will get cancelled. At the end you left with 4a square cos square a. That's the simplification. Just have a look. Okay. See, very easy actually. We know that c1 plus c2 as 2b cos a, c1 into c2 as b square minus a square. Right. So with that we found that c1 square plus c2 square minus 2c1 c2 cos 2a value as 4a square cos square a. This is just a small calculative part with the usual algebraic simplification. Just have a look. Right. That's the thing. The next one is to find the sum of the areas of two triangles. What to say about the sum of the areas of the two triangles? I am erasing it and then I will go for the next problem. Okay. Just think about it. we need to find the sum of the areas of the two triangles. So to find the area, what is the formula? Here we need to find triangle 1 plus triangle 2. Okay. What you say about triangle 1? Triangle 1, small a, small b, angle a, C1 are known. Triangle 2, small a, small b, C2 and angle a are known. Area of a triangle is two sides with the included angle, half AB sin C, half BC sin A, like that. Here the area of the first triangle is half BC1 sin A plus second triangle is half BC2 sin A. So from there it is very clear that half B sin A is a common thing. So if you common out that B sin A by 2, you left with what? C1 plus C2. And we know C1 plus C2 is 2B cos A. Replace it with 2B cos A. So B sin A by 2 into what? 2B cos A. Yeah, that's it. And then you need to simplify. You just leave the denominator 2. B into B is B square. 2 sin A cos A is sin 2A. And as a part of simplification, you get it as B square by 2 sin 2A. Just have a look. What is your answer at the end? B square by 2 sin 2A is the sum of the areas of two triangles. Okay. So with this given measurements, two triangles are possible. We don't know exactly the location, the shapes and the sketch of the triangles. But the sum of the areas of those two triangles is B square by 2 sin 2A. Just it is by the help of area formula. Okay. Right. Just have a look. I have another problem to discuss where you need to find the simplified value for this C1 minus C2 whole square plus C1 plus C2 whole square into tan squared A. Just as I discussed first one and second one, now you just try to find the third one. Okay. Just like first one, if you try the third one, you will get the simplification as 4A square. That's your answer, and this is for your practice. Have a look. And at the end, this is the class related to the ambiguous case of the triangles. Okay, that's for today.